Let's funny and fake. Welcome to the show, Dr. Manisha.
You can call me Manisha.
Okay, Manisha. So I know your story, but I feel like the story is such a good story because a lot of people who are doctors, who are dentists, who are professionals in their life, like in India, they leave their comfortable, cushy life and they come here, and they have to do a lot of survival jobs. They have to suffer a lot before they can achieve professional success here. So I'm really excited to dive into your story. So let's start in the beginning. So you and your husband had a comfortable life in India. You're both working as doctors. You're newly married, and for viewers, her husband is also a doctor, and you guys were working in one of the hospitals in India, in Chandigarh, and everything was going well. What made you decide that you want to move to Canada?
So basically, yes, we were working as a doctor and a dentist, but still we knew that we still have to do something more to work as a better physician or as a better dentist. We need to do some specializations. So we were planning to do something like that over there, but then you guys were here. We got to know that there are better opportunities here. Healthcare system is better here in many aspects, at least for a healthcare professional. So
Mhm.
we started looking into that, and then we started looking into different countries. We got to know about Canada. So that's how we thought, okay, let's give it a try. Let's see. We don't have anything to lose. If we don't like it, we can always come back. Otherwise, we'll just see. And that's how we came to Canada, and we
And
started our
um,
journey there.
what what was the year when you came to Canada?
It was 2011,
2011. And which year did you get married?
2009.
2009. So 2009, and then you came here in 2011. So like within like 2 years.
2 years.
So like you started looking into it pretty soon after getting
Yeah.
married. Um, when you came to Canada, which was the city that you came to?
We came to Winnipeg for the first time
And
initially.
how was, like, once you landed in Winnipeg, how did you feel? What was your first impression?
It was cold.
Which month was that?
It was October.
October.
Yeah. It was windy, it was cold, and it was vast. It was like there were not that many people on the roads. Everything was kind of empty. It was
And
different
did you
than
know
India.
anybody? Did you know anybody in Winnipeg?
Yes, we knew one of Aman's friends.
And how was like, were you prepared for the winter, or
Not that much. We were not that much prepared. And then we stayed there for a month or so, and then
So what happened? Like, how was the first month coming to Canada?
it was good. It was our honeymoon period. We enjoyed it. We were newcomers. We went to newcomer center, learned new things, new culture. It was a good experience. We enjoyed that part, and we didn't have that many responsibilities. And as we were new, we were like excited to explore things. And but then finally we had to do something. We couldn't just be like that. So when we started looking into what should we do into our field in our field, then I got to know about that in Calgary, in Alberta, we can work as a dental assistant.
Mhm.
If you are a dentist from India
Mhm.
or other countries.
Mhm.
So we just thought maybe this might be a good move. We were liking Winnipeg, but it wasn't that good of an experience. And we had a couple of friends here in Calgary. We got to know they were also newer from India, and we got to know that it is more vibrant, and it is a like
More
more
opportunities.
opportunities here. So we just thought, okay, maybe right now it's just a beginning. Let's just move to. We have moved from India to Winnipeg, and now it's not a big deal if we move to a different place now. And that's how we plan to move to Calgary. And I think that was a very good decision.
So you came to Calgary in 1 month, and then what did you do? Like, did you start looking for a house first? So you.
Yes, we actually got a basement. Like one of our friend, he found a basement for us, and that's where we started. And after coming here, the other thing was looking for a job.
Right.
So we met a couple of people from dental field, from medical, but we didn't get much of a good guidance from there. We didn't like, it felt like I was not very positive in dental field back home because it's different in India.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I don't know if I want to go in dental here as well, because people were not very positive when I,
Yeah, so
unfortunately, I
I
met people.
remember that because we were in US at that time, and you guys
Right.
were talking to us, and you were like, no, it's not that easy. Like the
Hmm.
guidance you got from people,
Exactly.
like people you met at temple, people who are dentists,
Hmm.
but you went to them for advice, and you kind of not did not get a positive,
No, we didn't.
right?
Yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was very gloomy, and
exactly.
like it's very hard,
Yeah,
like
it is
something like
very
that, right?
hard. And we met a couple and they were like, you don't have kids and now you are looking into getting into your field. Then you just forget about having kids also. The life is different here, it is difficult here. So that made us feel like, maybe no, maybe we should look into something else. and
And this
and
is not one person, right? Like everybody you talk
multiple
to.
people, yeah,
Yeah.
multiple people. And people were like, they were a dentist and physician couple. They were happy in doing something in healthcare, but not as a physician or a dentist. And they were happy, and we were also new. Life here for everybody is better in
Yeah.
general, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, we are happy here. We are even happy if we do just survival jobs. So let's just get into that, and we don't really have to do a struggle of getting into healthcare again. So that's how we started.
Yeah.
And then
And at that point, when you were looking into that, your husband was also studying. So
mhm,
because he's doctor back home, but he has to do his residency again. He has
yeah,
to clear all those. I don't know
exams,
what are the
yeah,
exams that are called.
there were lots of
Yeah,
exams
that
for
he has to
licensing,
clear.
yes.
So so you both started to basically started with
Explore.
this exploring, and then you both started with a survival job. What
Mhm.
was your first job?
I started working at the Bay.
And how was that?
It was good. Like,
So what was your mindset like? Because I think it is very important when you come to Canada as a newcomer to have the right mindset, because you're from an affluent family. You started working as soon you like you passed out, you got married, you started working, and you had a good like life. People treat doctors and dentists in India with respect. So when you came back, like just culturally also, uh, people don't work in India. You will not find people from affluent family working in uh, like big shops. Like things are changing now. Like students do
mhm,
that, but not during
exactly.
that time.
Yeah.
So how was that transition? Like, what did you feel like? Was it hard, or was it like you were mentally prepared?
But we were mentally prepared for that as well, because when we were doing a little bit of our research over there, we knew that we can't just get into our fields right away. We
Mm-hmm.
will need to do something. And we kind of knew that we will need to do some survival jobs, because definitely we can't just bring all the money from back home and just survive on that. So for that reason, we started looking into doing different jobs. I started working at the Bay. And yeah, when we started getting some dollars, it was good. Life felt like, okay, now we are able to survive better. And we did that for a while. And then, exactly like a year or later, we were like, no, we need to do something else. And then we got to know about some courses. Like, Aman got into a course for phlebotomy, like,
Mm-hmm.
and I did sterilization course.
So before that, let me ask you one more question. When you were working at Bay, were there parts of jobs that you felt like, what am I doing? Like were there some parts, or were you still like wide-eyed and like still like excited about the future in Canada?
I think I was still excited to be in Canada. And here every job is considered
Yeah.
good, respectful, right?
Yes.
So I never felt like, why am I doing this, for that perspective. But of course, I knew that I just don't want to do just this. I
Yeah.
need to do something else. As I always wanted to be in healthcare. Like, I think I was very little. I can't even remember, maybe 6 7 years old, when I didn't even know how to be a doctor or what exactly you need to do. But
Hmm.
I always wanted to be in healthcare. I always wanted to be a doctor, to help people. So I knew that
This is not.
this is not what I
So
want to do
how
long term.
did you come across the sterilization course? Like what?
One of the I think we got to know about these courses that government of Alberta is sponsoring these courses where they will pay you to do the course. So we were like,
Mhm.
okay, let's just try doing that. We were
Right.
pretty young at that time, so it was more like, okay, let's just do this and see. We will see if we like it. It's good. Otherwise, we'll think about something else. And that's how I got into the sterilization course. And I thought, okay, I'm at least entering into healthcare.
Mhm.
But I enjoyed the course. It was fun. We learned about the culture. We learned about different things in sterilization as well. But then during my practicum, when I started working in a hospital, I was in Peter Lloyd Hospital doing my
Mhm.
practicum in the basement, sterilizing instruments,
Mhm.
huge instruments, all different kinds, orthopedic, gynec, and all. I was like, I didn't want to do this. This is not,
Yeah,
I
so
can just
I
do.
remember our conversation from that time because you said like I don't even see many people, and I'm
Exactly.
like I want to treat patients. I want to
Yeah.
actually have interactions with people.
Hmm.
So I think that was one
That
thing that
was
I
the
remember,
one
and
thing. Yeah.
also you were also thinking about planning your family. Like you wanted
Exactly.
to start thinking about having children at that time,
Yes,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly. So basically, when I started my practicum, during that time only, I got pregnant with Ayan. And at that time, I was like, no, Rona, ye chakka.
That's okay. That's okay. Um, tissue. उधर भी है and इधर ये give this one but I think there is a tissue
ज्यादा
somewhere.
हो गया.
It's okay. Sharing story is not you have lived it, so obviously you remember your struggle, you feel proud but you also feel emotional.
So yeah, then I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I just need to do something else. And I kind of knew that it is really hard to get into dentistry
Mhm.
because I just felt, how am I? I don't think I'm even able to get into a dental school here. There must be people who just do have a different capability who can do it. And then I got to know about a couple of friends who were dentists back home and they got into dentistry here. And then I
So
felt,
I remember because I think 1 year after you guys moved, we moved as
yes,
well, and we used to have this conversation every single day because we'll come home from the practicum, and you would be like not happy with that, like you would be like thinking of quitting every single day.
yes. And I didn't even join the like job. I didn't even do a job after
Yeah,
doing my
like even
practicum.
thinking about doing that job as a
Yeah.
survival job was hard for you,
Yes.
right? Like
Yeah.
it was not
Yeah.
working out.
Yeah.
So and you were again expecting it by that time.
Mhm.
So what were the things going on in your head at that time?
I wanted to do something better, get into dental
We'll
again.
take a pause. पूछ लो थोड़ा
अच्छा.
थोड़ा पानी वानी expensive ले लो.
क्या बोल रही है?
Well, it was good when she was crying.
फिर तो होता नहीं पॉडकास्ट.
हाँ. Okay. So मैं फिर से पूछ लेती हूँ. So I'm thinking maybe could be chain of thought talk. So when you like you're pregnant with Ayan and you're thinking about I don't want to do this, but I still have to do some survival jobs, right? Like what was going through in your head at that time?
Yeah, I started exploring like how can I get into dental school here, and then I got to know, okay, I should start my registration first.
But before that, what happened that made you think that doing dental school is possible? Because it's not like it's not like you're young, like you're not as young, right? Like
Hmm.
you have arrived to Canada. You got like 1 year has already passed,
Yeah,
almost, right?
yeah.
1 year has already passed.
Hmm.
You are thinking that if you have to apply, it's very hard. That's what
Hmm.
the information that you got, that it is very hard.
Right.
What happened that made you think that I could do it?
I think it was support from my family, from all of you, that yes, you guys are
Yeah.
there and you will be able to help me with that. And
But also, I think there were some, because I remember from our conversation, there was some like your batchmates or somebody who has
Yes,
done it, and then when you
they
talk to
got
them,
into,
yeah,
yes. And when I talked to them, I figured that, it is possible. It's not that it is impossible. It's just that I need to work hard towards it, figure out things, and that's how I started. I just Earlier I didn't know that it is doable for some reason. Maybe it was just my lack of knowledge. I didn't explore
you got
enough.
discouraged in
I
the
got
beginning.
discouraged in the beginning, but then once I got to know, yes, people like me
Has
whom I
done it,
know from back home, they have done it. Then I was like, if they can do it, why can't I?
right?
I should look into that
So,
too.
but before that, so did you start looking into those options immediately, or did you like do some survival? Because you were one, you still needed an income.
Hmm.
You were pregnant. You know you were
Yes.
going to go on mat leave.
Yes, no, definitely. So I started looking into registering and all, but it takes time.
Right.
That whole process takes time. And then during that time, I knew that if, like, I had to plan how am I going to do all that. I had to sit home and study. So at that time, it was like, okay, when I'm during my mat leave, I will be able to do it. And for getting the mat leave, I have to work so that I can have my EI benefits, that it will make it easier for us financially. So then I started working in, I think I worked at Walmart, I was giving away samples over there. And I worked at Costco giving out samples. That was more of a dental related. I was giving out samples for toothbrushes and
Hmm.
all those things. And I even worked at Canadian Tire selling their credit cards.
And how many months pregnant were you at that time?
I was full blown pregnant. I think I almost worked until the almost last week of my pregnancy
Last
then.
week of pregnancy.
Yeah.
So you were like
And I was on
in
my
your
feet
third
almost
trimester
12
on your
hours.
feet. So if somebody is like struggling and feeling discouraged, just remember that like being a she was pregnant, she was almost 8 9 months pregnant,
Yes.
and you were doing all the like physical job, like
Physical
standing on your
jobs.
feet for
Yeah.
eight
Yeah.
hours selling credit cards, talking to people, selling samples, going to Costco, traveling, because at that time you guys are not driving, is it, or were
I
you driving?
wasn't driving. Aman used to drive, and whenever he could pick me up, he would. Sometimes I would take transit as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And do you remember that, like, was it hard? Of course it was.
It was hard, but still, for some reason, I was happy doing all that. It never felt
You had
like
a bigger
why
purpose
I had
in.
a bigger purpose. Yes, exactly. So that was also fun. Doing that was
And then
also
you
good.
had Ayan.
Then I had Ayan, yes. And then I think he was a few months older then when I started preparing for the
But then
exam.
something else also happened, right? Like suddenly you had, so all this time you are living in the basement.
Hmm.
And then when you are thinking that I will start my exam preparation,
Yes.
you get to know that the landlord wants to evict you.
Yes, yes, that happened too. Yes.
And then it was,
Ayan was just 3 months old.
right? And
Yeah,
that must be very stressful as
that
well.
was very stressful.
And you knew, like, we were there and you knew that you can always move in with us,
Exactly.
but it is difficult with a newborn and to live with another family. I understand that, but like you did end up making that choice, so can you tell me a
Yes,
little bit about that?
that was the best decision of our life. You guys have always been so supportive, and we are lucky to have you all, even mummy here, and all our family here. So everybody has been very, very supportive.
And when you
And
moved, I was also expecting
yes,
my second one at that
yes.
time, and I think it was difficult for all of us, but
Hmm.
at the same time we have very fond memories of staying
Exactly.
together.
Yes,
Like our youngest, so Atul's sister, like the youngest one,
yeah,
also came to Canada for study
she
visa
did.
almost at that time.
Yes,
And then our mother-in-law was here to
yes,
support us.
yeah.
So I remember, like, imagine you have a newborn child. He was what, 3 months old?
Ayan was 6 months
six
old.
months old
Mhm.
And then at that point you started studying for exam, right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about that.
So yeah, it was difficult. I would study from almost like 6 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock, and mummy will take care of Ayan. You guys will take care of Ayan, and I would just have him, feed him, give him back to mummy or Aman or you guys, and that's how I studied.
So family support is one thing.
It is
It is one
important
thing.
for
It is
sure.
important, definitely. But at the same time, Aman was also studying, right?
He was studying
And
too.
being a new mother, it is very hard to disconnect. Like whatever, you can have all the help you want. You can have your mother-in-law. You can have your parents. You can have everybody looking after your child. But just disconnecting. Like he was just 6 months old. You want to be with your baby all the time. So having that grit and determination for bigger purpose for both of you to just have like disconnect from it and then give it to you all, because I see you, I've seen you, you gave it your all, you act like you, whatever you had in you, you gave it your all
Yes.
during that time, right?
Yeah. It was hard, but then again, we knew that this is how we have to do it. Otherwise, there is no way out. We have to sacrifice a few things, and that was one of them. And that was again for the bigger purpose, so that we can have a better life for our kids also,
Right.
and we can give, like, we can have some examples for them that yes, if you work hard, you can achieve something. So that was important for us.
And what happened next? So you started preparing for exam, you started giving exam, and then at some point, I think at some point you moved back into the basement, right? Like
Yes,
so
yes.
what, I don't clearly remember, but I think your exams were done by that time.
My first exam was done, and then after that I had to prepare for my clinical exam for my bench test. So at that time it was, the classes were in northeast, so that's why we moved back. It was easier for traveling and all. And Aman also got a position in a sleep clinic,
Right.
so he was working there, so it was easier for the commute. That's why we moved back to the basement again.
And
and
then you
uh,
started applying, or like
and then
do you
I
have, how many exams do you have to give?
So I did my first written exam, and then after that, I did my clinical exam, bench test.
And it is not easy to clear that exam, right? A lot of people
No,
apply, it is a
yeah,
difficult one, but you prepare a lot, you cleared it.
mhm,
And then that's also not done, right? Then you have to get matched,
yes,
so you
yeah.
have to apply to the, so tell us a little
So,
bit more about
like,
that.
I did apply for a couple of universities. The first university I applied, where I got finally my, I got into dentistry over there. So when I applied there, um, yeah, so there were, so initially it was, they would select from the applications, they would select 100 people. So I got selected into that, luckily. And then after that we had to do a bench exam. There they had to, out of 100 they were selecting only 40 people. I luckily got into that also. And after that they had an interview where they had to select 20 people. So out of 100 it was 20 they would choose, and that's how I got into that.
And then you got matched, and then you
Yes,
packed your bags again,
yes.
and then you moved.
And then we moved to
But
Ontario.
before that, for anybody going to like you have to do 2 years of
Of dentistry, at that time
dentistry
it was
again.
2 years.
Yes,
Yes, yeah,
and it is an expensive course,
it
and you
is.
have to pay for it out of your pocket, right?
Yes.
So you took loan. How much was
Hmm.
that?
It was quite a bit, 300,000 plus.
300,000. So having, so except for your skills and your confidence in yourself, you did not have any backup, right? Like
Yes.
how, like to taking that amount of huge risk. Aman was not a doctor at that time, he was doing his own studies. I would say it was a big risk. How did you mentally like feel about that?
I think it is a risk worth taking, even for, as you want to, like, advise for newcomers or
Hmm.
people in dental field or medical field. It is a huge loan. It is huge amount when you start thinking about it. But then it is worth it if you know that yes, once you are out of it, it is for a bigger reason. You will be able to get into the dream job you want to be in. Then you get that risk, you take that risk.
So you packed your bags and you moved to Hamilton,
London,
London,
Ontario,
London,
yes.
Ontario, and you started your course.
Hmm.
In the meantime, Aman is still like studying, still like,
Yeah,
because it's not just he's studying. He's in the middle, like he's supporting
he
sometimes. So he
is.
had to work jobs when you're
Yes,
studying.
he
You
was
cannot just like
working.
leave
He was
everything.
taking care of Ayan most of the times as well, because I used to go at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. I would leave and then come back around 6 or 7. and that was how it was. And then Ayan was just 2 years old.
And you moved, so we were not there, so you did not
Exactly.
have any family support during
Yeah.
that time when you
Yes.
were studying,
Yeah.
right?
We definitely had. My mom came over a couple of times. Mummy from Aman's mom, she came over a couple of times. So that's how we were able to manage all that. It was difficult, but yes, with Aman's support, definitely it was doable.
And so 2 years, how was going to dentistry over here? Was it like different from
It's
India?
way more different. It's way different. It's worth it. I
It's
would
worth
say
it.
it is worth it. The things we learn here, they are same. Things we learn are same, but it is more practical here. We just don't, ratify things.
Mhm.
We just study whatever is needed, and then we would do clinical things exactly how we study. In India, it is different. We study something what is happening here in Canada or America,
Mhm.
but then in India, dentistry is a little bit different.
Mhm.
And here it is almost like whatever you are reading in the books, you are implementing those things.
Right.
So it was a good experience.
There's like a lot of process, and there's a lot of even talking to patient. in
Yeah.
in India, you do not have to educate patient.
No,
It's
here.
like you came to me, so you should trust me, sort of.
Exactly.
But
Yeah,
it's
here
different here.
here it is different. Patient communication is one of the things. The reason I didn't choose to do, like, we had an option, either go to a university or write exams and just be a dentist here. That is also very hard.
Mhm.
That's also a very hard route. But the reason I went into to the university was I wanted to learn how exactly things work here, how you communicate with people here. It is different. And
So the 2 years,
you
you would say that it
educate.
was money well spent,
It was money well spent.
and
I
it,
don't regret it.
yeah, and it prepared you for
Hmm.
working here.
Exactly.
And then what
Yeah.
happened next?
And then yeah, I finished my studies. Aman is still preparing for his exams. Then we got to know that he has to have a recency because he was out of practice for a long time. Then one option was going back to India, or then we got to know that he can go to UK and study there.
But
Like, he
something
did
else
his
also
exams.
happened. You also wanted, so you also became pregnant.
Yes, yeah.
And when
I
was
had
that? Like
Ave
you
at that
worked,
time.
you worked
So
for some time, or you
yes,
were
I
pregnant?
graduated in 2017, and then Avya was born in 2018. So, like, after a few months of graduating.
So that's also difficult, right? Like you're fresh out of graduate, you have a huge loan, you want to start working, but you also cannot stop like planning for family, because
Yes.
you wanted two kids. So
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the right time for you to have a second
Another
one.
kid, yes.
And then she's a newborn, and
Mhm.
you have to go back to work.
Mhm.
So I know,
Mummy.
your mom came and our
And
mother-in-law
after
came,
that,
and
yes,
they
yeah.
helped a lot. But at the same time, leaving 3 months old and going back to work is not easy.
It was hard. Yeah. So I started part time, but it was hard at that time too, because she was breastfed and I would pump and go. Sometimes she would drink, sometimes she wouldn't drink that much milk. And the moment I come home, I would feed her. So
And then
those are the challenges.
even before the life could get stable, because Aman got like a chance in UK.
Yes, yeah.
You guys have
He
to
wrote
pack
his
and move again.
exam. Yes, he moved first, and he started working there. But then I was like, I can't just live like that.
So for
Then
for a
for a
small
couple of
amount,
months we
you
were
thought like maybe we could
we
do
would
it
be
like
able
that.
to do it just like that, and he will be there for a year and he can come back. But then it was hard.
It was
So
not, yeah.
yeah, then
So
we were
you
like,
chose to be with your family,
I
and you thought like whatever it is, we'll
yes.
be together. And
Mhm, exactly. And then I moved with kids as well. That was a good time.
that was a good.
I was with kids all day long and we had lots of
So you
fun.
guys
Aman
moved
used
to
to work.
UK,
Yes,
and he started his residency,
he started. Yes,
and you were home.
yes, I was home with kids. And yeah, and then
And I
again,
know that you remember that time fondly, because that was a lot of fun for you, right?
lots of fun. Yeah,
After
spending
like
time with my kids all the time, which I didn't do that much since they were born because I was always busy. And so then Aman did his, like, recency
and there
over
was no
there.
plan, right? So what I remember is like you were not sure if you will be able to
Yes, we
practice
didn't
dentistry
know.
there.
Yeah, I knew that I won't be able to practice, and then I started looking into that, and then it was then I have to do my studies again there. I have to write exams, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Let's just go back. And luckily, we got to know that Aman will be able to apply here to become a physician
Mhm.
after his recency, after all his exams. There were lots of exams
Yes.
he had to go through. And
His story is another interesting one because his story is
yes,
not straightforward. Like there
no,
was also a lot of struggle, and we will
lots of
talk to
struggle.
him someday. But so he got an opportunity. Like he came to know of an opportunity back home again, like back in Canada again,
Back in
right?
Canada, yes. Yeah.
What was that?
So like he wrote his exams, he cleared exams, and then he was able to work in a rural like area here in Alberta. And that's how we were like, okay, let's just go back. And then we came back to Canada. We came to Calgary, stayed here for a while until he was doing his paperwork and all, and then we moved to Wainwright.
So that is actually the first time when you actually started working and
Working,
earning money.
yes, exactly.
So
Yeah,
things actually started getting a little bit
a little bit
better
more.
financially. Like you were
Yes,
feeling at least
yes.
one of us is settled
Mhm.
now. Like not
Yeah,
settled,
yeah.
but
But
at
still,
least
we
one
were
of
back into our fields,
fields.
and
Yes.
we now the like it was more confirmatory. Yes, now we are
And which year was
into.
that?
It was 2019 when we
29
moved back to 2019. Yeah,
2019. So
yes.
you came here in 2011 and
Hmm.
you finally started practicing dentistry in
I
2019,
started in 2017 after I
2017.
graduated. I was working in Ontario, but then
But you have to take a break then.
I took a
So
break. Yes,
2017, let's say
yes,
2017.
yes, yeah,
So you started like after 6 years, right?
yes,
It
yeah,
took, so it takes long time, but it's not impossible.
yes, it is. Yeah,
And then you were working here, but then Aman had an opportunity to work in a rural area and
yes.
practice being a doctor again.
Hmm.
So you guys moved again.
Then we moved again. We moved a lot.
Yes, you moved a lot. That's what your one, two, three, fourth, fifth move.
Fifth move,
Yes.
yeah.
And how was that?
That was again interesting because it was far from here, far from the family, and being close to all of you guys, Ayan and Avya, Anya, Aryan, they were all so close together, right?
Yeah.
So it was a difficult move
We
in
spent a
one
lot of
sense.
time living together as
Huh.
well. So the kids really,
They had a good bond,
yeah,
and it was tough for us to move again, but then again, it was needed,
but it was
and
not
it
too
was
far.
exciting. It was exciting that
Yeah.
okay, Aman is going back to being a physician, so that's how we moved.
And so Wainwright, right?
Yeah,
Wainwright was the first place where you actually rented a proper house,
house,
and
yes,
kids started going to school, and
school,
you had like first semblance of some sort of stability,
yeah,
and you fell
yes,
into a rhythm.
exactly,
And
yeah.
how long you were there in Wainwright?
We were there for a year.
For a year,
Hmm.
and then something happened,
Hmm.
and you moved back.
Moved back to Calgary.
Um, we will talk about like something happened with that with the job that you had to move back,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
when you take move back, it was also a very stressful time. We'll
Hmm.
not dwell into it today, maybe some other day.
Right.
But when you moved back, you had to start again.
Hmm.
So what happened then?
At that time again, we were like, now we have moved enough. Now we are not moving back again. So let's buy a house first, so that then we are not moving anywhere. And that's what we
And
did.
Avya was how old at that
Avya
time?
was
2 years,
around 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, she was around 3. And yeah, we moved. We found a house, came back to Calgary a few times on a short notice as well to look for a house. And then finally we moved. It was in April.
And how did it feel like buying your first house after so many years?
It felt like now we are stable. It was a good feeling.
It was a good feeling, right? And
Yeah.
also when you move so much, I remember, so one thing, what you didn't mention, maybe I'll remind you, like when you were moving from London
Mhm.
to UK, you had to sell all of your stuff,
Yes.
and there were a lot of stuff that you emotionally attached to, your
Hmm.
kids' toys,
Yes,
right? Your
that
kid
was.
was like, Ayan was old enough,
Hmm.
and I remember you telling me that like we were selling it and he didn't want to let it go, and you had to
Yeah,
make that, like you can't obviously take it, so you had to.
yeah,
So they were like very difficult moments, emotionally difficult moments, when you have to uproot your family and move, and then
yes,
uproot you again and move.
yeah.
So your kids have also become very resilient.
Yes, that's right. I feel like Ayan has learned so much by moving so many times. He would go to a different school. He's very good at that now. I feel I never feel worried that if he goes somewhere he is going to, find it difficult to find friends, make friends, because he's so good and so resilient in that thing. So yeah, that I feel like hard times are difficult for sure. They test your grit, but they'll teach you so many things.
I
You
agree, like,
become very flexible, resilient, and you know that yes, if you could do that, you can do anything.
right. So you may like we अभी हम story बता रहे हैं तो लग रहा है कि आसान है, but it
Mhm.
was not easy. Anytime you have to uproot yourself and move to a different city, a different place, it is not easy. So
Mhm.
when you finally bought your house here, I am sure that was like a very emotionally, it's very emotional and very happy moment,
It is.
right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you are always being a person who likes to be at your home, like you
Mhm.
want to, you are very homebody also, right? You
Yes.
want to decorate your house, you want to stay at your house. So
Yes.
it was a big moment
It was.
for the whole family,
Yeah.
and we were
Yeah.
really happy to see you guys succeed and you in your home. And then Aman, so in that time there was uncertainty with Aman, because Aman sort of left his job.
Mhm.
He
Yes.
was not happy at Wainwright, so he
Mhm.
left his job. He
That's
had
right.
no clarity on what will happen,
Mhm.
and then you guys moved here.
Yeah.
But luckily,
Luckily,
luckily
we.
your start started turning,
Yes.
and he got an opportunity. He started working in
Cochrane.
yeah, started working in Cochrane, and you finally had some semblance of stability.
Mhm.
Life is going good, you have a
Yes.
routine.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
what made you decide that I want more stress in my life?
Yes, right. Now I'm used to having stress in my life. Well, um, I was happy working as an associate. It was good that it was almost like a 9 to 5 job, that you go, you come back, enjoy your life in the evening, no stress afterwards. But then again, it was more of a, I wanted to do something where I can do things my way. Like, it's not that in the practice I was working I was not able to do things my way, but still there is so much advancement in dentistry. Older offices, they are like, okay, howsoever they are running, they are usually okay with not bringing new advances, like a scanner we have in our office or other things. So and somehow it was like, it still felt like it's still not a stable thing. Again,
So you're going to different clinics.
I'm going to different clinics, and what if they don't need me anymore? Then I have to find another position and all those things. And somehow I felt like, no, I think I should start exploring into having my own practice, which I never thought about.
And
Even when I
was
was.
so I know that talking to you and knowing you, there were some of your friends who have already opened their own clinic.
Mhm.
So was that a factor also?
I mean, yes, yeah, I got little influence that, okay, everybody is opening their practice. Although, as I was saying, that when I was in dental school as well, I never thought that I will open my practice,
Hmm.
because mostly I have seen even physician or dentist, they are either dentist couple or physician couple. So we were a little bit different there, right? And doing everything all by myself, I never thought that I will take that chance, because it's a huge thing to have your own business. But somehow I got into that, got into that trap of having my own practice, and everybody in the family supported me. Aman was the biggest support, and yeah, we dived into
So
that.
when did you start looking into, like, as soon as you came to Calgary, or like when did this thought started uh, coming to your mind that no, I want to open my own practice?
It started somewhere in 2022, 2021. or
During COVID
2022.
times,
After, yes,
after
almost during the end of
end of
COVID
the COVID
times. Yeah,
times.
yeah. And that too, just for the flexibility that if I want to do a course, I have to get a permission to take a day off or something, where I was like, no, this is not how it is. I want to learn things. This is just, I'm just new into this. And there are so many things you can learn where you can, that you will be able to help patients.
Hmm.
So that's how I started looking into that, and finding
And
a location was again a challenge.
so, what were the things you guys like? Because you guys explored. You actually, your preference was that you wanted to buy an existing clinic,
Existing
but
clinic.
but you explored all the options.
Hmm.
What was that like? How long that process took?
Almost a year or so, and then I kind of figured that it might be hard to find a older practice. Right now in Calgary, it is difficult.
Because
Like,
there's
people
also
who
like
already
a.
have multiple practices, they get preference for everything for some reason, unfortunately.
Mhm.
And we being like just an associate or just a dentist doesn't make any difference, right? Then you have to figure out how can you find the right clinic or right location. And then we just found this location where we are right now, and we're like, okay, let's just start it here.
And so this was another big shift, right? Because
Hmm.
you have no idea how to run a business.
Hmm.
You have never run a business. None of your nobody like none
None in
no
our
none, yeah,
family
any of
either
our
way,
family.
like not
Yeah,
in family here or my own family, we never had any experience in business.
yeah. So it's like being an entrepreneur, and then you have to take a huge loan again.
Hmm.
So what? How was all that thought? Like, how were you thinking of? Like, how were you? What was going through your mind?
Had to do a lot of research, talking to people. We opened our practice in 2023, but
Mhm.
then all the hard work started somewhere in 2022, looking for the location. And then once we finalized the location, dealing with all the landlord, uh, like lease and all, and then looking into different equipment. There is lots of equipment we need to have in a dental office. So we were, both me and Aman, like, we were busy on the weekends looking for things. Whenever I had a day off, I had my meetings planned already. Okay, I'm meeting this person, that person, to learn all those things. So it was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work,
Yes.
and you had to take a huge loan.
Yes.
How much was that?
Almost a million.
Almost a million. Well, at this point, you're already proficient in taking risk, so
Yes.
just a little bit bigger risk.
Yes, it is just a little bit bigger
And have you
risk.
paid your student loan by that time?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
And when you started looking for location, because this is everything is new, um, did you think in your mind that it is a huge like what made you comfortable taking that risk? Was there any backup plan or
Backup plan was that Aman was in his field now. He's working as a physician. So I kind of thought that, okay, if something doesn't go right, at least he has his income and we will be able to survive with that. And I can always get back to being an
Mhm.
associate. So that's how we thought, okay, let's give it a try and we'll see. And I am usually like a person who can't really think through so many things. I just jump into things and
And
then
then figure
start
it out?
figuring it out. And again, money was not the purpose that we wanted to be in the business. And even now also, of course, I need money, so I have to charge people for the treatment. But still, it's not the only thing. I don't look into the numbers that much in detail. It's more about, yes, I want to do things.
So I
And
remember when you opened your clinic, I was asking, so how is it feeling? And you're like, I feel excited to go to work now. Like I'm looking forward to going up and opening my
yes.
office and
Hmm.
going to the practice.
Yes,
And
that's definitely
but
different.
then there's also a lot of stress
It
when you
is.
open your own practice because now you have to manage all your moving parts. There's nobody else.
Yes,
It's just you.
it is
So
stressful. Lots of
and
sleepless
Aman is
nights.
already working a full-time job. You have two kids that you have to like juggle.
Hmm.
Uh, how was the first, so it's been how much time since you opened your practice?
2023, August 2023. So
So
it's
in
been 1.5
2025,
year.
1.5 years.
Yes,
This August will be two
it
years.
will be two
How was
years.
the first year?
It was very difficult. Very difficult. Lots of things to learn. I'm still learning. And yeah, lots of sleepless nights. And it's
Did
exciting. It's very exciting. And I have built so many relationships with my patients, which was different when I was working for somebody else. Now it is different. And I really like that part. And always learning, always trying to see where I see that, okay, this is something I know people are struggling with in their oral health or general health. People are not aware of that most of the times, but I try to learn things wherever I can, and I can see the difference. Okay, if they do this part in their oral health, this will affect their general health. So those are the things I keep learning. And
what was your biggest challenge in opening the practice?
biggest challenge in opening the practice, it was overall challenging. It's
So
hard to
like if you,
tell
so
what
there
was
are
the
so many
biggest
things you have
challenge.
to juggle, right? You have to think
Yes,
about the marketing. How are you
yes,
going to reach, like, that word
yes,
out to people? It was also staff. It's very hard to find good
yes. It
staff.
is very hard,
And
especially
all the,
after COVID. It's
yeah.
very hard to find good staff members.
And remembering our conversation, I think the first year it was really stressful,
Mhm.
right?
It
Like
was,
you have had many sleepless nights.
yes.
In fact, it affected your health. Would you
It
agree?
has, yes, 100%.
It affected your health, and at some
Yes.
point you were like, probably I did a mistake. Did that thought come to your mind that
It came multiple times.
it came multiple
Yeah,
times?
yeah. I mean, health wise, of course, it is a lot of toll on my body, on my mental health. But then again, Aman being in mental health, he keeps giving me advices, and that helps me a lot. And having you all there guiding all the time, that helps a lot.
So even today, what is your biggest challenge? Is it staff or is it like
Staff.
staff?
Staff is definitely a biggest challenge. It's like I have a vision for my practice, right? I try to hire people with the same kind of vision or explaining them that this is what I want. But then, as an employee, if you think it is different, they can't really think the same way as I think. I
Mhm.
can try to teach them, but then again, there is always like they are there 9 to 5 or during that time, and then they forget about things. But I am always thinking, okay, this thing didn't go right way. This person didn't deal with this thing properly. So those are the things, those are the challenges which I'm going through. And I think most of that I would say is lack in leadership skills, because I never learned all this.
Mhm.
Nobody told us, taught us in school also how to take care, how to be a business owner, how to manage a practice. So those are the challenges I'm trying to learn.
And how do you feel today? How do you feel about your practice today? How do you feel about all the decisions that you have made so far? How do you feel today?
I feel pretty happy and proud that whatever we are doing, it's it's definitely how we visioned our practice, me and my husband Aman. And uh, and I think we are doing pretty good overall, and we are always in the pursuit of learning more and more things to help.
What would you say? So there are so many dental practices around here. There's need also, but there's so many dental practices. Okay, I'll take a break. What was the most rewarding part of your opening your own practice, and how does it feel to look back at everything you have overcome?
Most rewarding thing is that what we wanted to do, we are doing it finally, and I'm able to practice the way I always wanted. And I'm able to have new technology in the office, which is again some of the things which I really feel proud of.
Mhm.
And what was the other question?
And when you look back, how do you feel about overcoming all?
Yeah. So yeah, it was like when we started, we did not know so many things. And now looking back in a year and a half, I think we have learned quite a bit of things, which I feel like that will be helpful eventually.
So we are very proud of you. I remember when you opened your own practice and your dad was here, he was extremely proud. And he actually, the parents go through your trial and tribulations, right? So as you are struggling and going through your journey, the parents are always like worrying about you.
Yeah.
So to see uncle like that and finally feeling that yes, she is settled and happy now was a great thing.
Yes.
um, when you look back, what is the advice that you will give to your younger self?
Like, keep working hard towards your goals, and perseverance is the key. If you have a goal, if you want to achieve something, you can do it. A human mind has that tendency that if you have a goal and you want to, you are consistent with your efforts, you can definitely do anything you want.
So are you finally able to come out of that mindset that did I do a mistake by opening a practice? Are you finally feeling a
No,
little
I mean,
joyful?
that is not how it is. Basically doing a mistake, it's more like, it is stressful.
Sometimes the thought
it
comes.
is it is
Yeah.
stressful, and there are days when it's like, oh my gosh, now I have to deal with this thing. So then it is like, rather than now in the evening, like sometimes my kids are like, mama, you are just talking about your office, you don't have anything else to talk about, right? So at that time I feel like that I'm not able to spend time with my kids that much,
Mhm.
because now I have another baby. Right? It's more than a baby.
Yeah.
So that is the part where I sometimes feel like it is a lot of work, where I have to again do a lot of sacrifice. And yeah, but then again, in the bigger picture, everything is well worth it. And that again will teach my kids also that you are able to do whatever you want to
Mhm.
do. It's hard, it's difficult, lots of sacrifice is needed, but then again, that's how it is, that's how life is. You can't be
Um,
just in your comfort all the time.
that's true. That's very true. So I think, so for people who are coming to Canada, the dentists, the doctors, like, there is a cliche that, oh, in Canada, doctors and dentists, or basically doctors, are driving Uber, right?
Hmm.
It's nothing bad about doing survival jobs. What is the advice that you will give to people who are coming fresh to Canada and wants to start their career again?
That they should come with open mind.
Mm-hmm.
They should be prepared to do some of these jobs, just because unless they have a family support where they don't have to struggle for financial part. Otherwise also, I think even if it is financial support is there too, still everybody in Canada here, kids start working at the age of 14, just so
Right,
that they can learn things. You learn when you're working.
right.
You can't just learn sitting home or just studying. So I think everybody has to be open to do survival jobs or whatever job they get. And I think when we were working, Aman or I, we never felt like we are doing some menial job or something. We never looked down on any of those things. So we took everything as a opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
and how we can grow from there. And that's what I would advise to newcomers as well. Any
So,
newcomer, that even if they get something, they should accept it and start making connections. Reference is again another thing which is very important. And whatever you can do, it's good to do, and start working towards your goals as well.
what is what is your vision for your future now? So you have a practice now. It is growing slowly and surely, and you are finally feeling a little bit less stressed. What's the next thing?
The next thing is, I want to learn more things in dentistry, where I know that there are certain problems people are struggling with, where there is not that much awareness. And even in dental or medical field, not that many doctors or dentists are working towards those things right now. It's just a lot of studying again. But yeah, I kind of keep feeling like I need to do something more now. I need to learn something new,
You want to expand your practice also a little
expand my
bit, maybe
practice.
hire few.
Hopefully, yes. Yeah, so yeah, that's how it is. That is the challenge, being a practice owner, that even if I want to study for something new, it's a challenge. I need to find that time where, I open my laptop to study, and then I'm thinking about something else, start looking into different things, marketing, and then schedule, employees, all those things. So it's a lot.
You had to learn a lot of things
Hmm.
to actually open your practice, not just
Yes.
dentistry, how to run a
No.
business, how to
Yes.
do ads, where to pay, who to hire, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I have this note from your husband, and he wants to say a few words. So your journey for immigrating to a new country, retraining to be a Canadian dentist here, to building a thriving dental practice is a testament to your resilience, passion, and heart. I don't say it enough, but watching you take on every challenge with such grace and strength has been one of the most inspiring things in my life. You didn't just achieve success, you redefined it on your own terms, and I'm beyond grateful to be on this journey with you. फिर से
Yeah, and I would say I could do all this with, because he was there, and he has always been so supportive, and he never said that no, don't do this, this will be hard.
So, but yours was a love marriage, so you chose it. You chose the right one.
Yes, I did choose the right one. Even my parents say that.
So I would say that as a family also we are very proud of you. Like when we talk to other people in our family, younger generations, we always give your examples. We have different struggles, but ours was nowhere as close to you. Like it was different. It's difficult to come and survive in a new
Survive for,
country, and
yeah.
not just survive, thrive, and be an example to your kids, to your uh, all the other people who are coming after you. So you would be you are creating a legacy for people who will come after you. And I will say that, like, for everybody who's coming new to this country, then take that as example. It is not easy, but it is not impossible if you have the right mindset. If the positive, what is the one thing that I didn't hear from you throughout your journey was complaining. Like, you're not complaining of the system is broken, you're not
No.
complaining about the people did you wrong. You are like looking at the next step and you're saying, how can I do better, how can I work hard? That's very inspiring. So I've been through your entire journey, but I want to end this on a light-hearted and fun note. So I'll ask you a few questions. You can give a short answer to that. So, what's one thing about Canada that surprised you when you first arrived, or shocked you?
It was people on the street smiling at you, waving at you, and when you're walking, anybody you don't even know, they are saying hi to you. That was nice and shocking. Shocking in the sense that, wow, people can be that friendly as well. Because in India it is different, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was something.
If you could relive one moment from your journey, what would it be and why?
I would say there are a couple of things. One, when I was in college here in the university,
That was fun.
that was fun. That was more like, okay, you are reliving those college days. And the other is when I spent more time with my kids when we were in UK. That is another thing I would like to relive.
What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
Cooking. I love
She is a very, very
cooking.
good cook. She is
Not
extremely good
not
cook.
not that good, but
No, no,
yes, I love
she
cooking.
is. We only like we
And
love her chole bhature.
and the other thing is sometimes we do sing like karaoke,
Karaoke.
and that is another thing which helps me unwind.
If you weren't a dentist, what do you think you would be doing?
Something in healthcare.
Something in healthcare. What's your favorite family tradition that you have started in Canada?
Um, so, like, I would say celebrating festivals or days which were not, we were not celebrating back home. We did celebrate all our festivals, but here, once we are here in Canada, now we are celebrating Christmas, we are celebrating Thanksgiving, all different like
We have just expanded our
expanded our
okay.
celebrations.
So, Dr. Manisha, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, being vulnerable and sharing all your intimate moments. I know you were really nervous about it because opening your heart to anybody is not easy. And your story is powerful reminder that with perseverance, grit, and a little bit of faith, anything is possible. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please share it with someone who needs a little inspiration today. And don't forget to subscribe to Dollar Dream for more stories of resilience and hope. Until next time, keep chasing your dreams. Thank you.